The top 3 advanced signal tools for rescue applications. Hello, my friends. This is The Art of Prepping. We're going to talk about these advanced tools, but just a quick recap from the basic tools: the whistle, the signal mirror, and the LED strobe. Now, the whistle typically has a range of a half a mile to a mile and a half, depending, of course, on what kind of whistle and environmental conditions. Just like the signal mirror, if you have a good glass signal mirror, you get 20 to 30 miles in ideal atmospheric conditions. Now, the LED strobe can get about 3.5 miles. And so you have some different ranges to get attention. But it's not so much just range. It's also about how can you convey the type of help that you need. And so these devices really don't give you that capability. So we really were looking for various devices that can specifically alert others to your specific problem, and your needs. So that's what these are geared for. Now, the last one really isn't that specific in terms of being able to convey your need or needs, but it certainly can really enhance your visibility. So the first one and the second one are going to be very specific here about communication, and the third one is more about additional signaling. So the first one, as we can see here, it's a satellite phone. These in particular, I think, are very useful. So you can actually, really reach out and talk to people very specifically, once again, about your problem. And they connect to satellites up in geocentric orbit that orbit around 12,550 miles up. And so these little guys connect with those and enable, rescue queues to know the exact condition of you and your party and the problem. And this is a $200 clearance item right here on the screen. The previous one was well over $1,000. Satellite phones in general go between $500 and $1,500 for really good ones. These are kind of a luxury item for some, but a necessity for those in deep backcountry that there's no way that you could get someone's attention because there's no one to get attention from. Now, also, if you're on the high seas, you definitely would want a satellite phone. And you'll see here in a moment some coverage maps. A good part of the globe is covered pretty well, so you'll be able to get a signal, as you can see here. Now, just like satellite phones, we also have another device that can actually alert authorities to our distress, and to be able to at least transmit some very rudimentary types of messages, and that would be these PLB. The personal location beacons. Now, I really like this one on the screen here. This is kind of my preferred one, but the Spot Generation 3, which we'll see in a moment, is probably obviously the most purchased and used just because of cost. And so what we have is the personal location beacon is going to be something that you can easily put in your pocket. It's very durable, has long battery life. And they use those GPS and communication satellites up in orbit, just like the satellite phones. And so this will enable other people to know where you're going or where you are going, because some of them can track you as you're moving. And it really provides a much easier way to meet up with you in terms of rescue people meeting up with you, instead of you just sending a flare or have another means of signaling that may not really give really specific coordinates. This really can. They can just give the coordinates of where you are and give it to a helicopter, a pilot, and they can just fly right to you. It's just that fast, especially in deep country or if you're in the ocean. So this is something to consider, especially if you're getting the ones that use government satellites. There isn't any kind of like monthly subscription like this Spot Gen 3 right here on the screen. This one uses a government satellite, so there's just there's no cost after you buy it. Now, there are some that do have their own network or satellite system that do have a subscription fee. So you can see the Spot Gen 3, why it's so popular, because it's very affordable for one, but it's so compact. Look how small it is. It's very lightweight as well. And so there's a few buttons on it. It's very simple, and you just pick the one you want, and there you go. So what we have here is a satellite phone and our PLB. And I think, though, that when we compare the two, They have pretty similar coverage areas. The PLB might even have a little bit more coverage area than a sat phone. But they both have really good coverage. As you can see in this particular screenshot here, this is going to be from the most recent network coverage for the Spot Gen 3. And so what's next, though? What could be another means? Now that we have a way to, very clearly communicate what our needs are, and redundant to that to let them know where we are, those two would be obviously the preferred way. Now you can see on this map there's a little bit of some coverage area that isn't really there, like in the open seas and stuff. So maybe like a long-range shortwave radio would probably fill in that gap. But otherwise, what about another means that would be even more advanced to signal? And that would go into this LED flare. It has a 7-mile range and a very long battery life, around 6 hours for the output that it puts out. That's a long time. This is called the Ocean Signal Rescue Me EDF1. And I really like this a lot. This is relatively new. I believe it's around maybe a year or so on the market, if not less. And it's very cool. It's very small. It's like a small, flashlight size, device. It does come with proprietary batteries that I don't like. You can't recharge them. Like if you don't use it in about 10 years, you have to get new batteries. And so that's the only part I don't like, because I like to use maybe like AA's or at least a rechargeable battery from time to time. These is all proprietary, but nonetheless, it's a really neat device. I invite you to go online and check it out. It's extremely bright. There's a lot of different modes and stuff on it, but it's so intensely bright. This replaces flares, handheld flares, pistol and shotgun flares, even pin flares. So it just replaces all the flares. And real flares, they only have like a 30 second to 1 minute type of runtime, and these have many hours. So it's a lot safer as well. Now this is the other option right here, this Greatland laser flare class 3 R type of laser. It uses a 5 milliwatt type of laser. And it's very cool. They have different sizes and different colors of lasers. Now the red laser has a 20-mile maximum nighttime reach visibility, and a 1 to 3 mile during the day. Now the green laser has a 30-mile maximum nighttime reach, 1 to 5 miles during the day. And so what's so cool about this laser is not just a thin beam, but as the laser goes out, it disperses the laser and it causes like this fan effect. So there's like a wall of laser, and it can be many thousands of feet wide, the actual laser beam. It's amazing. So anyways, these are my picks. Hopefully this is helpful. Thanks for your support, and I'll catch you later.